Happy New Year! Welcome to another year of A Rude Awakening. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me through all the learning, and I plan to have a lot more data, information, and stories and things for you this year. We just wrapped up Kwanzaa, which is amazing. It's fun to do that every year. I like to do that as like the vegetable side of the holiday season. Christmas is kind of like the fun part of the dinner, or you know how when you had your dinner, you had the part where they're like, "Yo, you better eat your broccoli. You got to eat you better eat your salad." That's what Kwanzaa is to me. Like, because Christmas is, on the other hand, that's more like the fun, happy, sweet side, right? That's the savory steak, or that's the cheeseburger, or that's the cake, or that's the dessert. But Kwanzaa has so much substance behind it, and that's why I always make sure that we celebrate that every year, because the principles are things that as a people we need throughout the year, not just to commend those things one time a year. I did some speaking at some of the Kwanzaa events. One of my major points this year for children was, what are you today? I think way too often we talk about kids and we say, what do you want to be when you grow up? I think that's very dangerous. A very dangerous narrative. Because the truth is that you don't magically turn into something when you turn 18. You don't magically just transform into a fireman or a policeman or a scientist or a doctor or a lawyer. You don't magically transform into these things. You don't magically transform into an artist or a singer or an engineer. Okay? These are things that are developed that kids start showing signs of, and sometimes master early in life. When I look at my kids, I'm like, how is business? How is business right now? I want to know how the money's moving right now. Okay? My daughter was selling jewelry for $15 a pop when she was only 10 years old. My fiance had taught her how to make some jewelry, and my daughter would get to work. We'd actually go down to a place called Black Dollar Saturday, and she would just start selling things. She would just start selling what she had, and people would buy it. So she walking away with $40 at the age of 10. That was big money for her. But I didn't ask her what did she want to be when she grew up. I told her, you are a jeweler, and you're making money as a jeweler. So let's continue to feed that, so you can develop your jewelry and this jewelry path. Same thing goes for my son. He used to drum out there, with a little hat on the corner. And he just put out a little hat. This is like when he was 8 years old. And people would come down the street and throw all kinds of money in his hat. I didn't say, hey, son, wow, keep doing that. You might be a drummer when you grow up. No, you're a drummer now. I see you making money now. Both of my kids are in second language immersion programs because I didn't want them at the age of 18 to be wondering who they were going to be when they grew up. My son's been speaking Mandarin since he was in kindergarten. My daughter's been speaking Spanish since she was in kindergarten. And they've never had a school year where they weren't learning those subjects. And they've never had a school year where they weren't learning in that language. Okay, it's not like they have one class of Spanish. No, the teacher is teaching them in Spanish. The teacher is teaching them in Mandarin. Because by the time they come out of school, they're going to have an actual skill. They're translators now. Your children are artists now. Your children are business people now. They shouldn't be waiting till they're 18 for you to teach them the difference between a credit card and a debit card. What is your child today? And what kind of programs can you get them into, or what kind of research can you have them doing so that they can continue to develop that talent for what they are today, so they can continue to do it when they're an adult, but not so that they can magically transform into something else when they grow up. I think this is a big problem, and I think it's a big failure of our educational system that there aren't many tracks to career success that start all the way from kindergarten and go all the way through 12th grade. There should be opportunities for children to just be a carpenter, always have that carpenter class all the way up until they graduate, or that business class, or some other, it's just the way that they do it now is just so scattered. Okay, a little Shakespeare over here, a little chemistry over here, a little English, okay, a little math, and it's just all this spread out stuff. And then when you get out, you're still not qualified for anything. You still don't know what you want to be when you grow up. You don't know your purpose. You don't know, you just don't know. You're going to go to college and try to figure it out while you're there. So just money to figure it out. It's just a bad plan all around. And so that's one thing I really focused on this year, trying to plant those seeds in people's heads moving into the new year, 2020.